Hold up. Wait a minute. Bruh. Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock, I rock, I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat, let's chit chat, chit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. True crime is my specialty. Exposing the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring cults. Exploring. Researching. Debunking. Investigating. Being nosy. Super nosy. Being messy. Being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me. The chick with ADHD. Unmedicated. But quite educated. Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Chit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like. Hit that like. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Now, hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me fix up real quick. Shout out to everybody. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Y'all are amazing. Sorry, I had to fix a cord in an area. Welcome, everybody. Sylvia's in the house. Superfly, Darcy, Brenda, James, Nebby, Wim. Wim's like, blah, blah, blah. I have arrived. Shout out to you. Christine, is it Banty? Thanks for the beer so early in the morning. Shout out to you. Mind My Blues, Nebby, Superfly, Hermes, welcome. You having a break? Listen, I just had a great breakfast. I had a lot of hours of sleep, so I feel pretty good. I sure do. Gemini, welcome. Selena Fan para siempre. Thank you, Christine. Thank you. Who else? Darcy's here. Sylvia, everybody. Let me see. Evil Queen, how are you? Everybody, Didi, Darcy, hello, My Blues. Desert Smurgy, welcome. Let's see, Tina, how you doing, my love? Mind My Blues, I said hello. Let's see, Stanley. What? You said Nick got... Ooh, what? We're about to talk about that situationship. Don, thank you. Victoria, thank you for being here. Everybody come through. Oh, my goodness. Now, listen, every time I talk about Nick Rekieta, I always get, like, so many trolls. I do. So I got to be careful. Let me see. Hopefully, raise your hand if you're a troll and you're only here because I'm talking about Nick Rekieta. Like, don't be shy. I'm not going to block you. I just want to know. So that way I can, like, you know, are we going to get along? That's what I want to know. Are we going to get along? Welcome. Shout out to you. H says, I've arrived and I'm halfway through shampooing my carpets, but I'm feeling lazy. Ooh, shampoo. See, now that's a work. Any type of carpet cleaning is always a work. Do better. That's right. Tell them to do better. Hi, Don. Shout out to you. Thank you. Oh, well, I'm so glad to hear that. Mind My Blues. Shout out to you. Gemini, you're not a troll. You've always been here. Stop it. Jim is like, sorry, I'm telling on myself. No, I'm not joking. Anytime we bring up anything Nick Rekieta, immediately I get like all these trolls. And I'm like, listen, what do you want me to say? I mean, I'm not making up news about the guy. The guy, there's some stuff going around. Thank you, Wim. The light colors look better on you. Well, thank you. I appreciate you, Wim. Thank you. No trolling allowed. Sometimes if you're funny, you're allowed to troll. Sometimes. But you got to be really funny. That way we all enjoy it. Otherwise, you just get blocked if you're just being an asshole. You know, that's how it is. Evil Queen has been a member for 22 months. Oh, my Lord. That's a long time, Evil Queen. Anna, you know, you've been a supporter for a very, very long time. I appreciate all of your support. You don't even know how much I appreciate everybody who's been a day one, A1 for a long, long time. Now, hold up. Let me put this live here. Make sure everybody wakes up. I know it's Friday and it's like a long weekend for everybody. So yeah, it is what it is. I hope everybody has really good plans and that you guys do well. This is a toll-free chat. Sometimes. Don't hate me, but I don't know who Nick is. No worries, no worries. All right, let me look at the poll. Let's see what we have going on here. Okay, so we got some interesting Diddy news is 8%. Y'all aren't here for the Diddy news? Well, I mean, the Diddy news is pretty like to the point and short. I was on BJ's live. I was not in the chat, but was listening on my headphones. And it looks like everything is not like there isn't going to be a whole lot of delays in terms of the trial and everything. So here we go. Let's start with this right here, since this is pretty quick and done. Sean Diddy Combs asked to delay sex trafficking trial by 2 months. Now, hold up. That was the 17th. That's not new news. This is old. Sorry about that. I did pull the old article. Here it is. Here we go. Diddy trial set to proceed as planned after judge denies delay request. So here we go. So the Diddy trial set to proceed as planned after judge denies a delay request. Diddy's court case will continue as planned after a judge ruled on his legal team's request to postpone the trial for 2 months and denied any extension. They denied any extension. This is interesting. A hearing took place in New York City on Friday where Diddy's legal team expressed concern about the slow pace at which the prosecutors were providing evidence. See, and I would have a question about that. Why do you guys think that the prosecution is being so slow as far as how quickly they're moving through things? Now, mind you, it is like I think they said 3,500 pieces of evidence that they're reviewing. So there's that, but I'm kind of wondering about this. This is crazy. The judge is ready to get this shit over with. I mean, I don't know. I'm a little surprised that he didn't accept the delay. I'm be honest with you. I'm a little surprised that he didn't say, yeah, sure, let's do it. Hey, Fury World. Diddy is Diddy, you said I've been known to troll before, but never on Rabbit's channel. Thank you, misinformation. Shout out to you. Okay. So yeah, I know BJ was like, listen, I decided to get some really good sleep. I actually woke up a little bit late today and BJ was live. I said, look, this girl is doing the work. Shout out to her. Thank you, BJ. She was really working and she had to, head out. But shout out to her. I think it ended right when it wasn't that long after she ended her live. Come get this commentary. Has been a member for 33 months. Aw, thank you, Kiva. I appreciate you. Thank you, Kiva. Oh my goodness. Make sure you guys check out Come Get This Commentary's channel on YouTube. Thanks, Kiva. You're amazing. Thank you for your support. You're surprised? He needs that. Well, he needs a fair trial. That's for sure. That's for sure, right? We have to do what we have to do. Happy to take a break from what is that? I thought it said bush watching to watch Rabbit. Well, shout out to you. I'm so glad that you are. I don't know why I read bush watching. Shout out to you. I'm glad that you are out here, took a break from performing and doing all that stuff, and you come over here. Thank you. Come get this commentary. Thank you so much for the $5. Shout out to you. Yes. All right. So, guys, this is what we have going on as far as the Diddy trial goes. A hearing took place in New York City on Friday, where Diddy's legal team expressed concern about the slow pace. I have a little bit of concerns too, but I wonder if, I guess we can't expect them to get their shit together if they, we don't know how much evidence it is. I think if I read correctly, it was like 3,500 pieces of evidence that they had at least. I don't know. They requested additional time from the judge to thoroughly review all discovery material. However, the judge disagreed, noting that Diddy is represented by 4 law firms, which should be sufficient for them to prepare for the trial set to begin on May 5th. He's got 4 different law firms. Okay, he's got 4 different law firms I didn't even. Well, I knew that it was. We just had that one guy. what's his name? Stein from Atlanta who joined. You have Agnifilo and team. Who are the other two? Oh, Shapiro and then Tinny Garagos, right? One, two. So it was four of them. That's right. So it's the Shapiro, Garagos, Stein, and Agnifilo. Four different law. He's right. There are four. So yeah, why should it take this long to prepare for a case? I mean, I feel like they should definitely figure it out. You know, Diddy has been incarcerated at MDC Brooklyn, a well-known federal jail in New York, since his arrest in the Manhattan hotel in September. He faces 5 federal charges, including 2 counts of sex trafficking, 2 counts of transportation for prostitution, and 1 count of racketeering. My goodness. So, you know, Diddy has pled guilty to all of the charges. The judge has decided the victim 3 and victim 4 will be referred to by pseudonyms, while victim 2 will be simply called victim 2. In addition to the criminal charges, Diddy's also facing multiple lawsuits. Yeah, that is happening. So there is that. Due process. We believe in due process, right? Let them take the time that they need. Okay. Yeah, this is going to take a minute, right? It is going to take a minute. That's what they have to do. Let them take the time that they need, you know, for the things that they need to do. I completely get it. At the same time, oh, I disappeared. At the same time, I hope that they have enough manpower, I think, to handle a trial in the next couple of days. With 4 firms, you should think that they would be able to write a good motions to get the trial moving. Just saying. It's four different firms. 4 different firms. Here's my question, and I ask it again. Did he have that many assets? That's a lot of money. That's 4 different law firms. It's a lot of money, a lot of things that are happening. I wonder if he's receiving any level of support for this as well. Just saying. At the same time, take your time, but hurry up. That's right. Kind of surprised he didn't get the delay. You are, me too, but I think that the judge is, I think it makes a good point. Like, we don't know. We don't know. And at the same time, it's like, you have a lot of manpower there. I think he should be fine. That's what I got to say about that. Anyways, moving on to, from Diddy News. Let's talk about this. Okay, let's talk about the FSU shooter and the details, y'all. Because let me tell you, I was clutching my invisible pearls yesterday as I'm finding information about this shooter. And it's crazy because I find this to be like interesting. You know, some people think that, for somebody to become a mass shooter or something, like this just shows you how stereotypes are used, right? I think anybody who has any type of bone to pick with somebody, or maybe they're not within their 2 senses, can become a shooter, right? Like this can be anybody. Also, access to weapons. Also, like there's just so much behind this that I think we need to continue to have a reality check conversation, even though you have those that are stuck in this. Well, this is what happened. This is the lifestyle he chose. Therefore, that made him a shooter. I'm not buying that at all. And this is a good example of why we're not buying that. So FSU mass shooting kills 2 people, injures 6, suspect in custody. So this person actually killed 2 people. Now, let me just say this. As I'm like strolling and, going through this whole situation, I look at the picture of these like young people, specifically him, because he was pretty young, that decided to pull the trigger. I don't get it. So 2 people were killed and 6 were injured after an active shooter opened fire on the Florida State University campus in Tallahassee on Thursday. Law enforcement said at a news conference the injured victim and the suspected shooter were brought to a local hospital. Okay, so this is what we had. This is what we were told too. The alleged gunman's name is 20-year-old Phoenix Ikner or Ikner. I think it's Ikner, an FSU student who is the son of a Leon County Sheriff deputy. Leon County Sheriff Walter McNeil said at the briefing. The suspect was taken into custody after being shot by police, officials said, adding that he invoked his right not to speak with police. Investigators say the suspect used his mother's former service weapon, okay, now owned by her, as a personal handgun, which was found at the scene. They said he was also armed with a shotgun. So CBS News later learned that sheriff deputy is the suspect's stepmother, and that his birth parents had been engaged in years-long custody dispute that began in 2007 and lasted in 2023. The sheriff deputy has been at the agency for more than 18 years. This must be hard, right? Because he's like, that's his son, okay? He's a deputy. He's been at this, you know, in the office for 18 years, with the force for 18 years. For this to have happened the way that I did, it's just horrific. Horrific, horrific. What do you make of it? What do you say? Like, and people are pulling pictures, of course. This was yesterday. Phoenix, Ikner's ID as SFU shooting suspect, son of sheriff's deputy with access to her firearms. Very young guy. This is him. Okay. Young guy. Mom is a deputy. Very messy. This is JC. Somebody said this too in my comments, that he was apparently kidnapped at some point, and like his mom, clearly he came from a very tumultuous, you know, family background, which, welcome to the world, a lot of us do, don't we? You know, it does happen. Yeah, gaslit. It's a little bit crazy, right, Nebby? Let's keep going. Okay, so in the wake of the deadly shooting at the Florida State University on Thursday, a portrait of the alleged gunman, the stepson of a local sheriff deputy, has emerged. At least 2 people were killed and 6 were injured when shots rang out near the Tallahassee Institution Student Union, officials said during a press conference. Let's see. First responders shot the suspect on campus. He has since been hospitalized, officials said. He was taken into custody with non-life threatening injuries, multiple law enforcement told ABC News. The suspect was identified during the press conference as 20-year-old Phoenix Ikner. At the press conference, authorities described Ikner as the son of the Leon County Sheriff Deputy Jessica Ikner. However, court documents indicate, however, can't read. However, court documents indicate that she's the suspect's stepmother. So you kind of have to wonder. So Sheriff Walter McNeil said Phoenix had access to one of his stepmother's personal weapons, which was one of the weapons found at the scene. He had a handgun and a shotgun with him at the time of the shooting. Jessica Ikner has been with the deputy department for more than 18 years in service. Wow. So McNeil added that the 20-year-old suspect was a long-standing member of the Leon County Sheriff's Office Youth Advisory Council. So he was an advisory council. I swear. Oh my God. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. So what happened? What made him say this is the only way for me to deal with whatever the hell is going on in my life? That I have to go and shoot everybody. He's part of the council for the Sheriff's Youth Advisory. Okay. Whatever that is. I mean, I was too much of a badass kid to even be part of any youth advisory council, let alone the sheriff's. Phoenix had been, Phoenix had been steeped in the Leon County Sheriff's family office. It's not surprising to us that he had access to weapons. So this is what they're trying to find out. Like, how did he have access to weapons? And there you go. Ikner was previously at the center of a battle between his parents that featured a custody dispute stretching from Florida Panhandle to Norway, according to court documents. At the time of the custody dispute, the suspect was a child and known as Christian Gunnar Enkerson. He changed his name in 2020 and is now identified as Phoenix Ikner. Christian was taken by his biological mother to Norway, oh my goodness, in March of 2015 in violation of a child custody order, according to a 2015 probable cause affidavit from the Leon County Sheriff's Office. Anne Marie Eckerson, can't even read, y'all. Sorry. Let me take a drink of coffee. Maybe I need a drink. It's bothering me. This is bothering me. Erickson was accused of telling Christian's father, Christopher Ikner, that she was taking him to South Florida for spring break. Instead of staying in South Florida, the defendant allegedly fled the country with him in violation of their custody agreement. So clearly he has a lot of trauma from this custody battle with his family. Like, that's what it sounds like, that there's been this back and forth going on. But he's 20 now, right? So what was done in order for him to address some of this? It sounded like he had a lot of proactive activities, such as being part of the sheriff's office, advisory board. Keep that in mind. Like, there's a lot here, right? Mr. Ikerson advised that Christian had developmental delays and had special needs, which he feared would not be taken care of without access to doctors in the United States. The sheriff's affidavit said that the child was on medication for several health and mental issues, to include a growth hormone disorder and ADHD. The document states that Christian and his biological mother were dual citizens of the United States and Norway. Christian was eventually brought back to the United States. His mother was arrested at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport in July of 2015 and pled no contest to illegally removing a child from Florida. In October 2015, Anne Marie Erickson filed a lawsuit alleging slander and libel on behalf of herself and her son against the father and Christian's stepmother, Sheriff Deputy Jessica Ikner, along with two other relatives. The emotional and psychological harm done to the minor child will be evident for years and will require counseling. Given the child being at the age of 11 will have memory impact by the behaviors of all the defendants for the false claims done on his mother and all the parental alienation of the close relationship of the minor child. This is what the lawsuit claimed. The lawsuit sought more than $80,000 in damages to use towards Christian's college fund. The judge dismissed the lawsuit 7 months later. Wow. An investigation into the motive of the deadly shooting is ongoing. Police said during the press conference that law enforcement responded to the shooting was massive and very quick. It sounded like they responded fairly quickly. Shout out to law enforcement for responding very quickly. We're working multiple crime scenes, and there's potentially hundreds, if not thousands, of witnesses. This is what was said. This is crazy. Revell also said that the suspect did not comply with commands before being shot by responding officers. I do not believe he fired at officers. This is what was said at the press conference. Look, this is so interesting. To me, it's like, what this tells me is people need to stop making stereotypes of what mass shooters look like, any of that, because it could be anybody. The reality is this, is that there are people out there that have trauma that could impact them later in life. So yes, we have to be very careful of the things that we say. And a mass shooter, anybody who commits this kind of atrocities, can be anybody. It can be anybody. Okay? That's not to excuse their behavior. That's just to say it can be anybody. Doesn't matter what color, what background, or anything. That's it. That's all. Sylvia, thank you so much for the $9.99. Sadly, that's our kids. Sadly, that our kids are going through all of this. How times have changed. When I was in school, it was about who was going to fight who, but there was never no weapons involved. That's right, man. It was the I'll see you after school and you can get these hands. That's what it was. Thank you, Sylvia, for this. Iron Rabbit, I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a minute. Says I've been a member for 14 months. Shout out to you, Iron Rabbit. Thank you for supporting my channel. Hope you're doing well, Iron Rabbit. Just stop to let me know if you're how you doing, okay? Shout out to you. I think that just speaks to, we are getting there. That'll be next, Michelle. Thank you. I promise you. I think that just speaks to kind of like like we have to keep an open mind that just about anybody can do this kind of tragedy. Whether you're the son of a sheriff or the son of a pastor or a preacher or whatever, of a, whatever it may be, anybody can anybody can do this. Anybody. So sad, but true. As more details are coming about, and it sounds like he had a very traumatic past. Yeah, that's what I gotta say. Yeah, let's stop stereotyping. I agree. Thank you. I agree with this. Shout out to you. I hope you're taking care of yourself, okay? All right, let's talk, guys. Let's talk, okay? We have to talk about YouTuber Nick Rekieta. Let's talk about LawTuber Nick Rekieta. So, for those that don't know who Nick Rekieta is, he was excuse me, I got something in my eye. He was a huge, he is a huge LawTuber, covers a lot of cases. I remember the one that I followed was the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. His channel, he's one of like the leading LawTube guys here on YouTube, right? Very controversial guy to a certain degree, right? Because, I don't necessarily agree with all of his views on everything. But I guess I want to say it was 2 years. Was it 2 years ago or a year and a half ago? Okay. He got into some trouble. He was struggling with substances, you could tell, because in every stream he was drinking, he was doing all kinds of things in those live streams. And basically in his live streams, was it really 2 years now? It's been 2 years. And some of the footage of those live streams was used against him in court. So he got in trouble where they kind of like, I don't know if they raided his home. I think they did. They went in there and they raided his home and basically busted him. There was a bunch of drug paraphernalia in his home. His kids were there too. There was concerns about the welfare of his children. One of the children tested positive for was it cocaine? I think it was a 9-year-old who tested positive. It was in her system or something. The child, right? The children were being neglected in this home. Now, again, it's clearly a shocker for a lot of people because this is a LawTube guy. He is reviewing cases and doing all kinds of things, to bring awareness to lawsuits and stuff like that, and educating everybody about the law. And then here he gets busted with his child tested positive for cocaine, with him testing positive for substances. And of course, him being a LawTuber, it became a huge story where he's at in the area. And so then you have a whole sector, shout out to the LawTube people, but you have a whole sector of LawTube that reported on what was going on with Nick Rekieta. Nick Rekieta, at least from what I've seen, the streams that I've seen, he's somebody that he's very unapologetic about anything. He's got very interesting views about things that I don't necessarily care for. I don't wish the guy anything wrong because at the end of the day, anybody can have a problem with drugs or substances. That could happen to anybody, addiction doesn't discriminate. So he got himself into some things about 2 years ago. Thank you, Abby, for the date. And ever since then, I feel like when he talks about the cases that he's been through with him and his family and the other people, there isn't a whole lot of like accountability. Like it's an ego thing. Yeah, like and I'm not saying that he needs to be accountable to us, at least for me. Hell, I'm not an avid follower of Nick Rekieta, but at the very least, his children. So we have an outcome of his criminal case now, okay? And I think it's interesting that this is what they ordered, okay? So he is ordered as of April 18th, which would have been, I think it was this morning. Shout out to Nate, the lawyer. Defendant is sentenced to 30 years in the Candy, Ohio County Jail. Defendant is to serve 30 days. Excuse me. Did I say 30 years? Defendant is sentenced to 30 days, in county jail, and defendant is to serve 30 days. Credit for time served amount is 2 days. may be deferred of a complaint with probation. And this is set to start August 1st, 2025. So Drama Alert is also reporting on this. Nick Rekieta will plead guilty and is recommended to serve 30 days in jail with time served 2 days, as well as 5 years probation and some community services. I think anybody, community service is always a good thing to do. I am a supporter of community services. See, and why wonder, why did he get less time? Because my understanding, the paraphernalia that he had was pretty significant, what they found. The little that we have read, now, this is what really bothers me. It's like he has kids, and all these kids had to have like CPS contact because of all of this. When you're in a drug situation, you become neglectful of like your basic needs, meeting your kids' basic needs, right? Those kids weren't getting their basic needs met. I don't know. I mean, 30 days in jail. Wow. Sounds like they give him the lease. You know what I mean? What do you think? And the thing is a lot of people on YouTube watched him kind of fall a little bit. Well, a lot of it. Let me be very clear. There are videos out there you could watch. You see this man's downfall. Like, you see him, doing a bunch of, drinking, slurring his words, going off on the stream. Like, you see this man actively in losing all this weight. It looked really horrible. Everything that, his body was going through. He looks a lot more healthier now. My hope is that he's sober. That's my hope, but I don't know. I know I said 30. I'm sorry. I misread it. Sorry about that. It says more than enough that there were kids in the house and all the stuff they found. Once kids are involved, there's no excuse whatsoever. I think a lot of lawyers use substances to cope. Not saying that Nick drugs with them. Drugs? That you meant, yeah, you said drugs. Sorry. Not saying that it's drugs with them, but all alcohol is high on the list. At the end of the day, a few drinks to unwind, then a few more to go home, or a few more at home. Live streaming and drinking, I mean, people do that all the time. That mugshot is personality in a nutshell. Oh my goodness, y'all. Seems like a very light sentence given the things that were found. Yeah, given the things that the paraphernalia, he officially lost his law license, which is, that's crazy. I don't think he would have had his law license. Like, they would have, there's no way that he would have been able to keep it. That's crazy, guys. Imagine losing your law license. And this guy was like, I'm telling you, when you would watch him breaking down certain cases, he was fantastic, phenomenal. Like he would have thousands and thousands upon thousands of people in that chat when he was talking about all these cases. And this is where we're at now. I don't know. You've never heard of him? Wow. Yeah, Google him. He's well known in that area. You said, I really think if he wasn't a white man, he would have gotten much more time. People have said that too, actually. 30 days. I don't think 30 days is anything. Maybe, that's a good point. Maybe it's because he's a first-time offender and a lawyer, and maybe that's it. That was an outcome for him. Not being funny, if his child has substance in his bloodstream, he should have at least had 2 years. Yeah, that's like child abuse to the highest degree, Abby. See, like, that's huge. It's one thing for you to use substances. This is another thing for your children to test positive. Now, when say a pregnant mom has she's pregnant, right? And the meconium, the after she has a baby, test positive for any kind of substance, that's different, right? Like the meconium is, if it's testing positive, that typically, depending on what county, what state, might be an actual charge because you're endangering, the life of a child, right? People make that argument all the time. But here you have, and I believe it was this little girl, I think she was 7 or 9, I can't remember. It's been a couple months since I've talked about Nick. The little girl tested positive, but she's of age. So that tells you how around, the children were, how exposed they were to drugs. That shit gets on the walls, that gets in everywhere, gets in your clothes, gets in your system. Like that, they must have been around some heavy ass shit, for it to have gotten into the little girl's system. This is crazy. Drug paraphernalia is a tricky charge. It's one of those charges they put on you to make your bail higher. It's a felony. When you go to court, they'll usually reduce it. That's interesting. You said, in my opinion, conditions of probation for Nick should include logging off of YT for years. But see, Darcy, how is he, like, they already took his law license. I know some people don't see YouTube as a job, but like, this would be taking income from him to a certain degree, right? Because he does have a loyal base and following. He does. So if you have no more law license, so he can't practice law, he could do some other jobs that are like, pertaining to like maybe like legal writing or something like that, or something that gives him a little bit of a, he's not practicing law, but he's reviewing maybe legal paperwork analysis and stuff like that. I think that with a law license, it's not just, there's a lot of lawyers that, they have their law degrees, but they don't practice law. They do something different. And I'm thinking maybe that's what he'll do if he does continues to do podcasting or something else, Used to watch him back in the day, but he got too obnoxious and drank too much. When he would drink, he definitely would get way too obnoxious, in my opinion. Like, it's almost like he had permission to just, say whatever, do whatever. And his chat enjoyed it. I don't know. That's what they like to do. Didi, thank you for gifting 10 memberships, guys. If you've been blessed by Didi, put some hearts, some confettis, some hearts in the chat. Thank you, Didi. I appreciate you, love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for blessing the channel. Yes. Yep, that's right, Bill. Nick's child tested off the charts for cocaine in his hair follicle test. And I know that like Nick really tried to kind of censor a lot of that stuff, but people got a hold of it. Who was it? Was it Kiwi Farms? Kiwi Farms was the one that was kind of letting everybody know what's going on Twitter. I know I was using a lot of the court documents that they had. I think he's sober now. I have seen a few other law tubers chat about it. Well, that's good. And I hope that he stays sober. That's the question. Was it all worth it? His child was 8 years old. I was like, I think the child was like 7 or 8, 9. 8. If it's taking, there's no getting back. Nope. There are two kinds of people in the world, ones that are humble and the ones that will be humbled, or the ones that have been humbled because they've had to have been humbled one way or another. Such a sad situation. You couldn't stand his personality. I'm telling you, if I talk about Nick Rekieta, you get like the influx of trolls for no reason. You could be saying something good or bad and they just start trolling. This is why I'm like, I don't even know if I want to talk about him. Having an 8-year-old with cocaine in their system is horrific. 30 days is an insult. Yeah, because you're risking the life of a child. That's right. And that's how they found the cocaine in the hair follicle testing. You're risking a child's life. So yeah, I would say he's pretty lucky that it was only 30 days and not like 2 years or something like that, because people do get more time for things like this. And that is very, 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 very true. It's true. Let's see. Do they have their kids back? My understanding is that they were working towards that from the CPS case. And somebody came in my comments, because I worked in CPS for 10 years. They were saying, well, they're going to get their kids back. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the child ages and are they in treatment? Are the parents in treatment? What is, are they testing positive for, substances? Are they clean? Sobriety is a good factor in that. Are the children able to self-protect should their parents relapse? Those are things that, get discussed in those conversations. And also, I believe each child has a guardian ad litem. They also have to be in agreement with all those, decisions that are made about children returning home. So I'm kind of wondering if they are together, if they did go back home, how quickly that was. They could have also been placed with like a relative, like a grandmother or whatever, and kind of go from there and see. Yes, this is two separate cases. So the dependency and neglect case is separate from the criminal case. But the criminal case, they kind of work together. Does that make sense? So like if you have a CPS case and you have a criminal case, and your CPS case is about, I don't know, sobriety, like maybe you were drinking and driving, and then now you have like this criminal case and you hurt somebody. You have this criminal case, and then you have this CPS case if the child was there. Say the child was in the car. So you're going to have two cases that are kind of together reporting. One case kind of feeds on the other one, and then depending on how those recommendations go, every state does it a little bit different, but that's how I remember it. When I was doing CPS. You said, yep, how appalling, especially when he continues to stream and say it was all lies and he would be vindicated. Remember that? Remember how he would just like stream talking about it's all lies and he's being set up? You know how many like YouTubers or people with like, I get a lot of that. Like people tend to want to pass the buck to something else, especially when it's like your own child tested positive for cocaine. Unless you're saying, which I did have a lot of trolls that went in here, tried to blame the child for testing positive. This is what I'm talking about. You do have a lot of those blind followers that'll come into people's chat trying to tell you that you're wrong. Like I had people talking about, the child decided to consume the drugs. Oh, so it's the child's fault. It's the child's fault that the child tested positive in their hair follicle. Do you guys know how often I've had that? It is like I couldn't even believe it. And that's when I know, let me log off and let me not engage with stupidity, because I can't argue with people like that. I can't. You said it's amazing how many YouTube videos of lawyers getting done for DUI. It's a thing. Tiggs, thank you for being a member for 14 months. Oh my goodness, Tiggs, thank you for supporting my channel. Hiya, sweetie, I hope you're doing well, Tiggs. Shout out to you. Large amount of drug possession, he got off easy. I think so. If you're a first-time offender, even if you are arrested on a serious felony charge, you almost always get a free get out of jail free card the first time, as long as you can complete your probation. Yeah, it's crazy. Exactly. And not only that, a lot of this is played out publicly. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Thought I heard something about him taking the fall for everything, for him to be charged and only serve 30 days. So sad for those babies, right, Tammy? I hope that is he at least gets, I don't think he didn't lose his rights. No way he lost his rights. Not for that. He won't lose his rights over that. Where's the child? My understanding, the last I heard was that the child was in family, but maybe they're back. I'm not really sure. I haven't followed up, but yeah, you don't lose your rights. Let me be very clear. Losing your parental rights is a case by case situation. Okay, every state is a little bit different, but you could be drinking and driving with your child and you both could be injured. Doesn't mean you're going to lose your rights. Doesn't happen that way. Keep that in mind. I've seen cases where, parents do the most egregious shit and they don't lose their rights. So, yeah. That child could have died from being around that drug. Yeah, it's true. And that's the thing. It's like, if that were to happen, then he would have been charged with like bigger charges, right? Bigger charges. I hope that that's what happens. I hope that he gets at least mandatory help. Nick and his wife are unfit parents. I agree. I agree, and I hope they get help to figure this out. He's been guesting on some live streams and call-ins. He's definitely. You think so? Oh Lord. This is like, oh my goodness, guys. Sorry, I'm catching up on the comments. I missed a lot. said they're back with Nick. Unfortunately, most likely supervised child protection motto is always about reunification. Yes. So I wouldn't necessarily assume that people lose their rights just like that. It's always about reunification. Guys, it costs a lot more money to have a parent lose their rights. Okay. It costs a lot more money. Child protection in the last, I want to say 30 years has definitely changed the way in which they approach cases. There was an influx. I remember, I wasn't around, but when I was looking into this a little bit more, there's been a lot of changes in their model of practice where before they were more reactive versus proactive. And by being more proactive, they're really trying to work with people to address the issues to reunite the kids with their parents. But yeah. I see your chats. I don't see you being censored. I guess it just depends. I'm not saying any triggering words or anything. Rose, I see your chat. If the parents are still present and trying, it's not likely get terminated of parental rights. Yeah. They're not going to get their parental rights terminated. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It is a very long process. I mean, that's just how it happens. Geez, he needs to be locked up. I just can't believe he only, I hope he does everything. I mean, I'm sure he'll do 30 days in jail. I don't think he has a option. But community service is always good. Maybe he can learn a little something from that. As part of the guilty plea, defendant received a statutory stay of adjudication. Okay. And the PSIR recommends a defendant serve 30 days, credit 2 days, serve from May 23rd, 2024 to May 24th, 2024. However, this recommendation is not born out of any specific facts in the PSIR. It seems more that it's a boilerplate language inserted in the report rather than considered and reasoned recommendation of a trained probation agent. Indeed, it is hard to conceive how this recommendation is meant to aid the subject in successfully addressing those areas while promoting public safety. Is he a risk to others? That's the question I think that becomes. Like, is he a risk to others? Jail should be reserved as a sanction for violation of probation conditions and not a workaround by the state for the stay of adjudication defendant receives. So that is, and everybody's talking about it. Nick Rekieta attorney. Oh, Nick Rekieta. And people do not like Nick Rekieta's attorney. But hey, shout out to the law tubes. I'll say this. I'm always intimidated by the law tube people. Honestly, I am. Smart people. Shout out to them. Shout out to them. Evil Queen, thank you for gifting a membership. Shout out to Evil Queen. If you've been gifted, put some hearts in the chat. Let me put a little heart and confettis. Thank you, thank you. As long as people are stroking his ego, he'll continue his destructive path. He's selfish. That's the thing. Is like, I still remember the live streams where he was just like, there was no accountability whatsoever, and he felt like it was a setup. Like the deep state is trying to set him up for what exactly? I don't know. Yeah, I don't watch him anymore, but he has a lot of support. I mean a lot of support. A lot of support. People go in chats and they'll support him and they'll make excuses for him too. So that's what they do. That's what they do. Thank you. I appreciate you, Abby. Thank you. I love the community service part. I used in my younger days to work off traffic tickets. They usually let you pick something that is interesting to you. I mean, like I said, it's never too late to do community service. I think him doing community service would be a good thing. It'll be good for him. He can exercise his, I don't know, his humble himself muscles or something. Like, he needs to exercise a little bit more and maybe just do something different and maybe not live stream it. I hope he doesn't live stream it because that would be crazy. But I think he would be good. He would be good in community service. If it's not jail, at least 30 days, he needs a lot of community service. 5 years probation, that's a long time. I hope he doesn't and it's 5 years probation. So that probably means that they're going to be checking his sobriety that'll mean sobriety checks, UAs, all kinds of things that they could do for 5 years. So if he doesn't want to wind up in jail, he needs to stay clean. But yes. You said he needs parenting classes. Just saying. You said you did your community service in an art museum. Oh man. I did my community service when I was a kid at a nursing home. That was interesting. Nursing home. I recommend. And I recommend anybody go volunteer at a nursing home. Not just because you have community service, but if you're wanting to volunteer somewhere, a nursing home is a good place. I would say so. There's a lot of people that are in nursing homes currently that don't get any visits or don't get any conversation or anything like that. And it's great because, they kind of look forward to talking, to you, getting back to you, the people that are there, communication. I recommend a nursing home. It's always good. All right, guys, moving on. Well, I guess if there's more Nick Rekieta news, we'll talk about it. We'll see. They have urinalysis for alcohol that goes back 6 days. That's interesting. For alcohol. See, I didn't know that. Interesting. Yeah, nursing home is always awesome. Always awesome. You used to go and sing. Nursing home is great. I liked it. Like I said, there's a lot of elderly people that don't get any visits or any contact at nursing homes. I suggest everybody do community service at a nursing home. Okay. Let's get it together, guys. Let's get it together. He's in denial. Well, Bill, I hope he wakes up. And it's not too late. And I hope that, everybody really hopes for like a reality check for people, but I hope that he really gets a reality check from this and he learns his lesson. At least. Okay. Moving on. Let's talk about Onijah Robinson, who did a interview with the Shade Room. I think it was the Shade Room, right? And she's enjoying her celebrity. Let's get into Onijah. You guys remember? Let me know if you don't remember Onijah. Let's get into Onijah because I think we all remember Onijah. Viral social media sensation Onijah Robinson is opening up about her experience getting stuck in Dubai and also discussing her children and her son claiming that she had a mental health issue. As we previously shared earlier this month, Onijah is officially back in New York, and her viral journey to Pakistan and Dubai in late December 2024, early January, she first started going viral as she demanded a Pakistani government give her citizenship, land, and a weekly allowance after flying to the country for love. In October 2024, the 33-year-old Brooklyn native and Bronx resident traveled to Karachi, Pakistan to meet with her then 19-year-old boyfriend, now 20, Nidal Mima, or Amin, whom she met online. Despite rumors claiming Ahmed's family disapproved of her love and abandoned her in Pakistan, she previously told TMZ that that wasn't the case. She said they did get married and became close with his family. In February 2025, before Robinson returned to New York City, her son Jeremiah Robinson claimed that she has mental health issues, and she had initially planned to return home after 2 weeks in Pakistan, but failed to do so. He also said that he and his brother tried to convince her to come home, even booking a flight for her, but she refused. So let's get into this. Let's say, play.
Going to Dubai. We met, so we met up in Dubai.
So you really went to Dubai?
Yes.
Because folks were trying to figure out, because you went quiet on the internet for a minute. So they thought you flew to Dubai, and they were concerned that you had gotten locked up in Dubai because the rules, it's so much stricter.
Right.
And I think what I read was that you made too much noise in public. Like,
no, it wasn't happening like that. Everybody know. I went to go. My husband sent me some money in Dubai money, and I went to go pick it up at the MoneyGram. and somebody noticed me, and then everybody started noticing me. I'm like, oh my God, don't start this now in Dubai. Like, let's not start this. And they were just showing me mad love. We took pictures. I took pictures with like millions of people.
Yeah.
And I just showed them love. But when the camera part came about, I was just like coming from the airport, coming back to his house because I got turned around.
Yeah.
He was going to Dubai. We met, so we met up in Dubai.
So you really went to Dubai?
Yes.
Because folks were trying to figure out, because you went quiet on the internet for a minute. So they thought you flew to Dubai, and they were concerned that you had gotten locked up in Dubai because why did they turn you around?
Because my visa was up. Okay. So I had to fix it first before I get on a plane. But everything was just delayed at the time. I went and he dropped me off, him and his mom.
Okay, I am really confused by this story. All right. Where's that Nicki Minaj filter? Morris, thank you so much for the $5, my love. Shout out to you, Morris. You're amazing. Thank you. I am really confused by this story, okay? Because in my mind, this is just my opinion, you would have to be like delusional. This is just my opinion. What does that one lady from the Housewives say? It's my opinion. This is my opinion, okay? You would have to be delusional to go to another country, demand a weekly allowance, a piece of land, and citizenship. That's like me. Let me go. How does that work? And think that like you would have to be delusional to be doing that stuff in a different country. So what are we doing here? And it's not like she can say I never said that, because there's literally like a lot of memes out there and videos out there of her demanding this. And what did the people of Pakistan do? They catered to her. They felt bad for her. They were, everything. So yeah, like a lot of us concluded that girl was having a mental health breakdown, because in my mind, you don't go to a different country and demand land, a weekly allowance, and citizenship. You just don't. You don't. You said it's the ugly American syndrome. But it was hilarious, right? Because it made good it made for good content, I think, for good reaction. That's why I concluded that you must be not well. You must be needing some mental health support if you're literally going to another country demanding an allowance, a piece of land, and citizenship. You just don't do that. You don't do that. I don't know what else to say. Hold up, let me hit play on this because this is too much.
Hello, Miss Nuzine. I love you. I love you guys so much. The Mid family, the Mustang family. So,
So you landed Dubai, your visa is expired. You had to get your visa fixed. Then you meet up with your husband in Dubai.
Right.
Did you spend time in Dubai jail?
No, it wasn't a jail. I wasn't in jail. No.
Was it a holding cell?
No, it wasn't a holding cell at all.
So you wasn't held at all?
No,
okay.
I wasn't.
Okay. So why did you go quiet that time? Was it because you couldn't be on camera?
Because they wanted to do everything privately.
Okay.
They want to stay private.
Okay.
Within the religion. Sometimes we don't like to be exposed.
Why did they turn you around?
Because my visa was up. Okay. So I had to fix it first before I get on a, since
so
I
who's
converted.
They? Your husband or the government in Dubai?
The government.
Okay. So they didn't allow you to film. They didn't
allow me to do certain things. Yeah, because they already knew who I was.
Right.
From Pakistan. Obviously everybody heard before me.
Right. So they knew you were on the way. So
they knew I was on the way. Yeah, exactly.
So they put a stop to it before.
Yeah, they did. Yes.
Before.
Yes. Everywhere I went, I had to be escorted.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long did you stay in Dubai for?
For like almost a month.
Wow. Yeah. Where did you stay during that?
In the hotel.
So you stayed in a hotel with your husband?
No, we
no?
were separated because when he sent the cab for me, a car for me, it was time for me to go home. I booked my ticket, so I left and came back to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Pakistan for a minute. Did
Right.
you ever get the
Okay. Either she's lying or this is like a fake story. Is she lying or is this a fake story? You said poor husband. Listen, he spoke out. He's fine. Some don't make sense about this whole story anymore because I felt bad, and I think that's why people gave her the attention is because they felt bad, right?
land?
Listen, if they got the land, shout out to you guys. I love you. You guys gotta have the land. I just want,
Right.
you know, since
So
I
who's
converted,
they? Your husband or the government in Dubai?
the government.
Okay. So they didn't allow you to film. They didn't allow
Yeah, they didn't allow me to do certain things. Yeah, because they already knew who I was.
Right.
From Pakistan. You know, I mean, obviously everybody heard before me.
Right. So they knew you were on the way. So
they knew I was on the way. Yeah, exactly.
So they put a stop to it before.
Yeah, they did. Yes.
Before.
Yes. Everywhere I went, I had to be escorted.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long did you stay in Dubai for?
For like almost a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where did you stay during that?
In a hotel.
So you stayed in a hotel with your husband?
No, we were separated because when he sent the cab for me, a car for me, it was time for me to go home. I booked my ticket, so I left and came back to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, everybody to be, you know, happy and experience different things. But I'm coming back for that land, though. I'm coming back for that land. I'm going to actually build something up. And I really want to do real estate. Me and my husband, it was his idea. And I took it and I ran with it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do better also. We both trying to, you know, do business.
Trying to come up and do the financial thing.
Do financial thing.
Yeah. So there was some, you know, rumors circulating on the internet. And particularly there was concerns from your son. Do you have a son?
Yes, I do.
And he stated there was some mental health issues there. Are there mental health issues when it comes to you?
No, basically I was just in a hospital because I was anemic and I was getting blood. That's what when y'all saw me taking pictures, and I was in the hospital in Pakistan.
Okay. So no mental health issues. You never
not right now, but asthma.
Now. But asthma.
Have you know everybody to be, you know, happy and experience different things. But I'm coming back for that land, though.
You had mental health issues in the past?
No, I haven't. But you know,
are you and your? Do you and your?
Okay, I'm about to have a mental health issue. I swear to God. Like what? Not right now. Not right now. Her son is the age of her husband. You know, I don't know. Bless her heart. What do you guys make of it? You do realize that her husband, Nidell, gave an interview and he said that they had been talking for 2 years. That was prior before he was adult age in the US. Okay. Keep that in mind. Okay. Okay. Wow.
Your son currently speak?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes.
How's that relationship?
He lives with me, honestly. Yeah. The oldest lives with me. He's 17. Shout out to Onijah Robinson. I love you, baby.
Give me one sec, guys.
Saya Pitt is my youngest son. He's 10. He lived with his father. His father got full custody of him.
Okay.
You know, we co-parenting, like, you know, as often as I can. But they both are well taken care of.
How do they feel about, you know, you being on the internet, being so viral?
I mean, now he's warming up to it because before the fame, you know, I was just regular, but I always had that type of spark, that type of attention. I'm not gonna, you know.
You just had an outlet.
Sorry, guys. I had somebody at my door. I missed it. What happened? Tell me what happened. What did I miss?
And his personality.
Yes, basically, you know. I mean, people like me, but I mean, thank y'all. I'll be like, why they so no?
You had mental health issues in the past?
No, I haven't, but you know.
I missed something.
Do you and your son currently speak?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes.
How's that relationship?
He lives with me, honestly. Yeah. The oldest lives with me. He's 17. Shout out to Jeremiah Robinson. I love you, baby. You know he's the one. Saya Pitt. Saya Pitt is my youngest son. He's 10. He lived with his father. His father got full custody of him.
Okay.
You know, we co-parenting, like, you know, as often as I can. But they both are well taken care of.
How do they feel about, you know, you being on the internet, being so viral?
I mean, now he's warming up to it because before the fame, you know, I was just regular, but I always had that type of spark, that type of attention. I'm not gonna, you know.
You just had an outlandish personality.
Yes, basically, you know. I mean, people like me, but I mean, thank y'all. I'll be like, why they so nosy?
You had mental health,
but you know what? I'll be like, you know what? Let me just have some fun with you guys for a little while.
I'm also hearing like there's a movie about your life coming out.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, I'm not gonna tell you too much because I want you to see something. But
what? They're making what? They're making a movie. Hold up, I gotta fix my mic. They're making a movie about her. About what? They not even a Lifetime movie. No, Vicky, they're making a Lifetime movie. What? Okay, let's keep going.
It basically is a true love story.
Okay, so the movie is going to be about your journey to
my journey to Pakistan and how I met him and so on.
Okay.
Now, I'm really so excited for the people, you know, like I really want to just like drop the scene and let everybody just see it on their own. I think it would be more better.
Your husband, does he get fame? Does he care about it? Or now people are interested to know more about him?
People are interested to know about him, honestly. They want to see who Nidell is, Nidell. They want to see who Nidell Ahmed is, yeah.
Because he hasn't done any videos or anything, right?
No, I don't know, but you know what? I'll be like, you know what? Let me just have some fun with you guys for a little while.
I'm also hearing like there's a like sometimes
I'll be like, stop acting like that. Yeah. Come out, because that's how I am too. I'll be like, nah, not today, but
that's why people want to know, is he really real?
Yes, he's on another podcast.
Okay, so he is on he did another interview.
Yes, he did another interview.
Okay.
So you know, you guys stay tuned, listen to him too, so you can understand the story. Yeah. It takes two to make one, so hey.
What do you guys have planned for the future? Obviously, it's a huge age gap between you and your husband. But as children, is something that he aspires to have? Or
Cheeks, thank you for being a member for 20 months. Thank you, Cheeks. Cheeks said, I like her better when she was minding her business.
Does he have children already?
No, he don't have any children.
Okay.
He wants children, and you know, we just recently had like a miscarriage because I was pregnant in Pakistan when I was in the hospital. Yeah, it's on the camera. They were taking me to like sometimes I'll be like, stop acting like that. Come sonogram.
Yeah, because
that video.
So I know I saw that, right? But we didn't know whether it was true or not.
Yeah.
So you were pregnant?
Yes, I was. Yes,
and I had a miscarriage.
Yes, I did, because I don't know why, but I did.
Yeah. Well, sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
How did you go through that out there?
I mean, I was like, everybody was so caring, so it wasn't so rough on me and tough.
Yeah.
You know, it was like everybody bringing me food every 3 hours, like, you know, breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Yeah.
And, you know, caring for me, helping me, asking me if I'm okay. What do you need? What do you want? Yeah. Making me get rest. You know, when I get up and I talk to everybody. I'll say hi. Everybody will be up the time I'm up.
Okay.
So, you know, things like that.
Yeah, because I mean, there was the question, was that real? Because when you went to the hospital, I know some folks were saying that you went for a wellness check or like a mental health facility.
That's what we heard.
Sonogram. Yeah. No, it was a mental health building. Yeah, because it was like private. You know, they want to try to keep me in somewhere private. So, you know, that was a mental health place, but it was like, it didn't seem like it. Like, it didn't look like it. Like, basically in Pakistan, as that was just like another space they was using for me personally,
Okay.
privately.
Okay. So you guys plan on trying again?
Yes,
When you
you
see each
know,
other?
when we see each other, you know, I mean,
Look, I'm not believing this. Is she really lying to us? That place had padded walls. I think I have a picture of it because we were, doing I'm gonna have to do a deep dive into this because she's literally lying to us.
you know, basically like when we get things together,
Yeah.
you know, like
Paperwork.
buy a house.
Oh my.
That's a must. That's a must. We still have our goals.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're gonna maneuver.
Are you allowed to go back to Pakistan?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I am, you know, my visa was up February 15th.
Okay.
And then, you know, I came to New York right then.
Yeah. So there's
No, it was a mental
no restrictions on you going back.
No, there's no restrictions. They want me back now, but I can't right now. You know, I love you guys. So.
You're gonna stay here for a little bit.
Yes, I'm gonna stay here for a little bit.
You're just gonna get on a plane and keep traveling. What if you meet somebody else in the process, or you just strictly 100% him?
No, I'm strictly like,
and he's the same, because Muslim men, they are
they can have more than one wife.
Yeah.
But no, he don't want more than one wife.
So he's 100% locked in with you.
100% locked in with me.
No,
for sure.
No other wives. Would you be okay if he decided to have another wife?
I mean, he could have another wife, but not with me in the picture.
Okay.
Okay, you know, I don't do that. I mean, that would feel weird.
Yeah.
But that's not his intentions.
Yeah.
His intention is to really like help me out because I need the help.
Yeah.
As much as I can support.
What other help are you looking for? No restriction.
Well, the support that he gives me is like, you know, he talks to me, you know, he does his job as a husband, basically. Like, he helps me plan things out. We plan things.
Okay, so are they married? Because he's not really confirming the marriage. Are they really married? Do we know this for a fact that they're married? Like, what in the 90 days fiance is this happening here? Are they really married or not? That's the question that I have.
All together. You know, we do everything together, like what we can, like even when we distance all together.
Yeah.
Well, the support that he gives me is like, you know, he talks to me, you know, he does.
There it is. That's it. Oh my goodness, you guys, I cannot see. She was admitted to a psych ward. She's not gonna. I don't know what to say. What do we make of this? I find this to be very interesting. I mean, she's like now. Thank you. This is so 90 Day Fiance, but it's a to-be version. The Onijah Robinson story is the to-be version of 90 Day Fiance. That's right. That's right. But hey, way to go viral. We all like a good viral story, right? We all love a good viral story, especially if the person in the viral story is likable. We love a good viral story. Oh my goodness. I cannot with you guys. All right, guys. I have to head out. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody that supported. Thank you. Evil, thank you. Come get this commentary. Thank you. Come get this commentary. Thank you. Sylvia, thank you. Iron Rabbit, thank you. Didi, thank you. Tiggs, thank you. Evil Queen, thank you. Morris, thank you. Cheeks, thank you. Y'all are amazing. I gotta go because I gotta go get some rest. I'm tired. But I'll see you guys on the next one. Hit that like. It is free. And I'll see you guys later. I'll be live later. Bye, guys. Have a good one. Bye, guys.